What's up YouTube? Today I'm going to be giving a really simple tutorial on how to play Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom on your PC. So the first step, so this is with Ryujinx, so the first thing you're going to want to do is grab a download of Ryujinx. So it used to be a lot easier, but Ryujinx actually did recently get shut down by Nintendo itself because obviously you can understand why they wouldn't want people emulating their games on PC because they want to just keep it on the Switch. So as you can see here, it actually in the Ryujinx website, if you go to just refresh the page, go to home, or whoops, it went to the blog. So you just search up Ryujinx, and then you go to download. As you can see, it's not there, and it's the same with Yuzu too because Yuzu recently got taken down. So then what you're going to want to do is you can search this on Reddit, but it'll also be linked in my description. But it's just a Wayback Machine. Basically, it's just an internet archive of the downloads that someone has put out here. This is actually put out by the Ryujinx team. So download options, you can download it with the 7-zip. So you're just going to want to download the Ryujinx Win X64. And then if you don't already have 7-zip, super easy to install. Just go to 7zip.org right here. I'm gonna link it in the description. Hit download, and then it's gonna like bring up like, do you trust this software or something along the lines of that. Just hit yes. This is very well known. So once you do download it, and it'll look something like this. So you're not gonna be able to do it with WinRAR because it's not a .zip or a RAR. You're gonna want to do show more options, and it'll bring you to like the classic Windows 10 right click, and then that's where 7-zip will show up because it doesn't show up if you just regularly right click it. So you're gonna want to do 7-zip and then extract to whatever the name of the file was, and then I already have it installed, so it'll just bring up this, and that's what it'll look like. So once you have it extracted, what you want to do is it's going to bring you up to another published folder. You're going to go in here and then scroll all the way down to the ryujinx.exe file. And what that's going to do is it's going to open up this command line. Don't close it out because that'll close down the whole app. And then mine shows an error, but it actually doesn't. I think it has something to do with the fact that it's been shut down, but it doesn't affect my game at all. And so it might ask you for title keys or prod keys. So I'm going to show you a really easy fix for that, as well as where to snag the game download and update downloads. So the website you're going to want to use is the Perito. I'm going to link this exact webpage in my description. So these downloads will have the base game link. So there are lots of different links here. So find whichever one works. So in my experience, this has been pretty safe. You can either use the XCI, the dumped version, or the NSP, or the eShop version. I think the NSP version is the one that might require you to have title keys, but I'm not exactly sure because I don't think I ever installed title keys when I installed Ryujinx. So I have the XCI base game file, so I don't think it matters too much though. And then they have different update links. So this is the latest update, update 1v20v1. But I'm still on 1.1.2, but it doesn't affect the game at all too much. And then it also has some prod keys and title keys over here. But if these don't work, then they're super easy to find on the internet. You can just do a Google searches for it. And so once you have the game up and running, or once you have the file for it, you're going to want to go to File, Load Application from File, and then you want to make a folder that just has all your games in it. So for example, I have it in my Documents folder, and then I have another folder called Switch Games. And so this XCI file, this is my base game copy. That's where I keep it. I'm not going to open it right now because I already have it installed, but once you hit open, it should prompt you with like an install screen, and it's going to take like a while to install the file. So once you're done with that, then you're going to want to right click on the game thing here, and you're going to want to go to Manage Title Updates, and then this is where you add the updates for the game. So you could just hit Add, and then you're going to want to put the update file with your other game files, or not. It's just whatever is easier. I keep them all together, and you're going to want to hit Open. And I already have it here, so I'm not going to do it, but it doesn't really take too long from my experience. I've downloaded multiple updates over the past, and they don't usually take more than like 5-10 minutes. So now that you have the game up and running, the next thing you're going to want to do is to get the mods that you're going to want to play with to make the game have a better experience. So for me, I use this website right here, and it has a bunch of different mods. I only use a couple of them along with one more mod, and you're gonna hit this download button right here. And so once you have it downloaded, it's gonna look like this pretty much. You don't have to extract it because it already has all the files in it. But I'm gonna go into my game and I'm gonna show you which ones I have from that folder. So from that folder, I have the 60 FPS stable mod, the dynamic FPS plus plus mod, and this other one, this other dynamic FPS mod. Although they're like pretty much the same thing, so you could probably like remove one of these, or even the 60 FPS one, because I also have the Tears of the Kingdom optimizer, which I'm gonna show to you in a second. So the next mod you can also use is the Tears of the Kingdom optimizer. So I'm gonna link to GitHub down below, and you're gonna want to hit download. You're gonna want to download the windows.zip. You're gonna want to extract it. You can do it with WinRAR or the .zip. And then I have it in my downloads folder. And then once you double click it, it's gonna bring up a command line just like for Ryujinx will, but don't click it out. And then this is what it shows. So my regular game FPS is 60 FPS, my menu FPS is 120 FPS, FOV 50, and in resolution I put it as 1440p. But I don't think it matters too much what resolution you put in. And then everything else over here I have enabled except for free cam. So if you're using this with Yuzu though, you want to click switch to legacy. But if you're so this is what this looks like. And then if you're using Ryujinx, you just hit switch to Ryujinx. And then the next thing you're gonna want to do is do select executable. So this will link it to your actual game file or to your Ryujinx game. And you're gonna want to select ryujinx.exe and hit open. And then you're gonna want to hit apply. And then it'll take like a couple seconds to load. So after you've done that, you're gonna want to open back up Ryujinx. So I'm not gonna lie, the only like 2 or 3 mods you need is Tears of the Kingdom optimizer, which probably works completely fine on its own, but you could probably add in a couple more mods. But then if you have an error, you might need to remove some. This is just what I use. I don't know how it works, it just does. You don't have to copy it exactly, you just need to tinker around with it a bit and then find out what works for you. But another important thing I want to say is don't like get mad at a mod if you don't have perfect 60 or like 40 50 FPS right away, because when you first load in the game and when you first go into like new areas and stuff, it's gonna be like a little laggy at first, but after like 30 seconds or a minute it's gonna like be stable again, especially when you first load in the game. So next I just want to go over the settings that I use for Ryujinx. So I don't really change anything in the user interface or the input. The input should work perfectly compatible with an Xbox controller. You just plug it in, find the profile. I don't have my controller connected right now, but you can imagine what it looks like. For DualShock or Nintendo Switch Pro controller, I'm not exactly sure. You might have to do further research into that, because I know for DualShock, there's like a DualShock for Windows kind of software that is needed to fully support the whole thing. So that's why I just use an Xbox controller, because it's easier. And then keyboard hotkeys, I don't have anything changed. I don't really use any of them except for the F5 for pause. And then system, nothing changed except VSync. It's just like really a preference. I don't know what the performance hit on it is if you enable it or disable it, but I just keep it on. I might tinker with it later on, but it's just like it doesn't really matter too much. And then for CPU, I have my memory manager mode to host unchecked, and then PPTC enabled. And then for graphics, this is what it looks like. So even if you have an NVIDIA GPU, you're gonna want to use Vulkan with this game and Nintendo Switch games in general, because the Vulkan API just works a lot better than OpenGL, even if you have an NVIDIA GPU. So I have an AMD GPU though, so it doesn't really matter though. And then I have this enabled, this one disabled, and this one enabled. And my resolution scale is 1080p. It doesn't really matter. You can also upscale it to 2 times or even 3 times, but it's just preference. And I have no anti-aliasing. My FSR level is at 60%. My anisotropic filtering is at auto. My aspect ratio is to 16:9. And then I have this one at auto, and I don't have anything over here. And then you're going to want to hit apply and then OK. And then the last thing I want to go over is reshade. So reshade is pretty simple. You just want to go to the reshade.me website and hit the download button. I'm not going to show it on screen right now because it like takes a minute for it to load. So you're just gonna before you actually download it, you're gonna want to find on YouTube like a reshade like shader pack that you like for the game, and you're gonna want to download that first, and then you're gonna want to download reshade, follow the steps, and then you're gonna want to import that file into reshade. It should be pretty self-explanatory and it's not too hard. So that's pretty much it. So if you follow this tutorial step by step, you should be pretty much set. I'm gonna get into the gameplay footage.